Hi everybody, welcome back to the In Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz, that's Jack.
And we're doing country food today.
Country food, like Southern Comfort. It's like a poos. Southern Comfort foods. So, back in 91, if my sources can read right, it was 91, I didn't remember it properly. There was a movie came out with Kathy Bates. I've been watching American Horror Story, it kind of stuck in my head. She did this movie called Fried Green Tomatoes. Then, in the South, anywhere, you couldn't go anywhere without getting fried green tomatoes stuck on the menu. So it was really good when I tried it as a kid. So we're going to show you how to do it now, and we're going to throw in some other stuff, some mashed potato stuff. Let's get to it. So this is going to be simple. First off, you're going to need these green tomatoes. You have to drive around. They're going to be a little harder than normal ones. 2 eggs. You can probably get away with a little more eggs. Yeah, your cornmeal, flour, salt and pepper, stuff you're going to have at the house, and some cooking oil, right? Yep. Not a whole lot of this stuff, and then we're going to throw some gravy and some instant mashed potatoes on them.
Why not?
Just because we can, just straight fried green tomatoes, whatever. Now you slice these, you usually want like a thicker slice to them, mostly because it takes too long to do thin slices, because you got to do 300 batches of them. Yep. But you'll notice like these, some of them are kind of red on the inside, some are green all the way through. Either way, it doesn't matter. It depends on how tough they are. If they're like the orange color, they're squishy and shit, and they just kind of collapse when you put too much weight on them, or you don't have a sharp knife. You want to avoid that and get these green ones, and they're usually pretty tough.
Yeah, these are pretty solid tomatoes here.
And slice these. Be sure to carve out those little eyes on the end of them there. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight.
Close enough.
Yeah, it's kind of like Hollywood. So once you get that done, then you got your cornmeal and some flour laid out. And you're going to have to, replace that as it's going. Right? This is regular battery.
Yeah, nothing special.
And we just put our eggs over here. Like I didn't add anything to these. Now, if you want to add salt and pepper or any kind of seasoning to your cornmeal, it doesn't hurt at all.
Go for it.
Yeah, a lot of the cooking oil will cook a lot of stuff off, but if you mix it into it, it's not.
Some of it will stay.
Now, when you mix these eggs, be sure to beat them around until there's not like that liquid snot-looking piece that's still hanging on there.
If your egg mix is goopy, you need to whisk it some more.
So, put it in that flour, and then right into your egg. Make sure you get it on there. It's going to get on your fingers. You might as well just fry your fingers because they're going to be properly battered.
I hate battering.
And then right into the cornmeal after the egg, and that'll stick. You set it aside. Now, the more coats you do on this, the thicker the batter is going to be, the better they look. We usually do 2.
2 coats.
2 coats. Like you can see, this is how you just set them aside. It's super easy. You just got to do all of these. Now, the ones that aren't on the ends are going to be a lot easier to do because they're wet on the inside, so the flour will stick to them. The edges are going to be a little rough, so I just kind of roll them on the side. Throw them in that egg. Now, if you have a problem with it getting on your fingers, which I do, which Jack does, which 90% of the world does.
I hate battering without a bag.
It'll start to stick to you. You can get some tongs, or you can use a fork, something small to grab it and reach out of there. Now, you just keep doing all the rest of these. Here you go. I'll show you. Like, you get the tongs, and this is going to be your second coat. You've already had them once. They're sitting there. We took the flour out. Just go right from the egg into the cornmeal once it's been on there. You flip it, pour it on top of it. I've heard people put it in a bag and shake that around. I always hate it because I just lose so much egg on the side of the bags or whatever. But again, just coat them with the egg, coat them with the cornmeal. I've never had them with just flour. I've always had the cornmeal. Yeah.
Flour doesn't seem to stick and coat like cornmeal does, in my opinion.
Alright, so get this. I think we ended up using the last of that thing of oil.
So we needed some more here.
So it's going to be like a cup and a half. You want to be able to float, but not flip around. You don't want to deep fat fry them. So medium, high to high. Let it get warm. Again, you want it to bubble instead of spatter. And then just take it once it gets hot enough. Put it in there. I think it took 15 minutes at the most.
Yeah, this isn't a very quick process. It actually takes some time to do this.
Well, if you get the oil too hot too fast, it'll burn the oil, it'll burn the food. Everything smells horrible. You get oil and grease spattered everywhere.
Yeah, then it sucks clean.
So just get these in here, space them around a little bit. They can touch, that's fine. I mean,
yeah, the foods can touch here. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's all just one food. They have different flavors of them. That's the problem. Then once they start getting this brown color, go ahead and flip them around. You're going to do both sides. Unless you have something that's deep enough where they'll float and get both sides.
Like a deep fryer?
Yeah. But I don't have to suggest it. Now, while you're doing that, you go ahead and boil water in your other 2 pots. I think it was 2 cups for the mashed potatoes, and then the gravy was a cup and 3/4 or a cup and a half.
Some odd
and then you
number.
take the half cup and mix it with the gravy first, and then mix it in. for some reason instead of just putting 2 in there. So take these off, put them on your secret weapon, that paper plate with paper towel on it. And just pull those out. Now once you get your boiling water, there you go, just the mashed potatoes in.
Now this process is fast.
Oh yeah, like as soon as you put it in there, put a fork, whisk it around a bit.
Immediately stir it.
And it goes all super thick. Spread around till it gets like, yeah, I guess all the powder gets wet, which doesn't take long at all.
Because you just poured it in water.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it'll clump up and get those little balls or whatever, like when you're making chocolate milk and it like spurts chocolate powder into your eye when you're trying to drink it because there's little balls of chocolate powder.
No, I'm good. I've never had that.
Okay.
Never had that.
I was too in a hurry to get my chocolate milk.
Apparently.
So you get your gravy. Like I said, you did half a cup with the gravy mix and put it in there with the other 1.5 cups.
Yeah, y'all have seen us do this before, actually, in some other videos.
Quite a few.
Now spend some time whisking it. Don't cheap out on this. You don't want gravy clumps.
Oh, no, it's hard to clump, but you want to keep going until you feel it getting thick. And then you're set. Once you see it starting to stick to your fork and where you can't see through your fork, you're good. And there you go. You just plate it, put the gravy on it if you want. The gravy's not mandatory. You can eat it with whatever. Be sure to salt and pepper. It'll get very bland if you don't. But it costs, like, again, like maybe $5, something like that. And fed us all once. There you have it, fried green tomatoes with mashed potatoes and gravy, which is that country gravy, which is really good. You can put the gravy on the green tomatoes. It's outstanding. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. It's all down in the thing. Ring the little bell, and I'll let you know that, you know, when we post everything. We post on Tuesdays and Fridays. Videos up all the time. You can find us here on YouTube at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. You can find us on Facebook under the same tag, that Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. You can find us on Instagram at Living Between, or what was the other one?
Patreon?
Patreon. We have Patreon. You can help us out over there at Live Between Paychecks Kitchen there, and you can find us on Pinterest. See you next time.